Hey guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor and your leverage for change. Today I'm going to be discussing and answering this question rather of why do we suffer? No, that's a kind of strange, you might be saying to yourself, that's a very strange topic to discuss because who goes about their lives looking to, to suffer, right? But basically, nobody does that. Nobody does that, not intentionally. But we do things every single day that causes our suffering. And I want to just kind of highlight some of them so that, because guess what, guys? When the reason I discuss these very generic topics is because a lot of us don't think about it. You know, we are so busy, caught up in the world and all it's the stuff of the world, going to work, taking care of children, taking care of families or friends, hanging out with our friends, doing all the stuff that we all do every single day, watch TV, whatever it is that you do. And so a lot of times we never even take the time to just be with ourselves. We are always, if we're alone by ourselves, we find something else to take our attention. So we never ever get to that place where we think within ourselves, why is this happening? Or what could I have done differently? So this is my purpose here in doing some of these videos, is really to kind of wake up your power of introspection to really save you from suffering and all kind of other things that happens in life and in relationships. All right, so basically I'm just going to be kind of going over a few of the things because there are so many other things that can cause suffering that we just go about our everyday lives and we do these things every day. We neglect to do things. We do things that's going to cause our suffering. And so I want to kind of bring it to the forefront of our minds, because once we have it there, we can get a better grasp of it and say, oh, that's why. Wow, I never thought of it, but wow, that's why I'm suffering. I never thought of it that way. And so this is what I want you to have a what you'd call it, aha moment, right? Got that right. So before I start, guys, I want you to check out my memberships by clicking on that button below. You can do that after you've listened to this, but there's this join button below this video that will give you all the different levels that I have memberships for my channel. At the very lowest level, at $3.99, you can support my channel so I can really just have the time to just give you a lot of content that you will be able to use in your everyday life and in relationships to help yourself to be and have a happier, healthier life, basically, right? Hopefully the content I'm putting out here will help you to think in a different way, to see things a different way, and to also approach your relationships in a different way, in a better way, right? A more healthy way. So let me continue with this question of why it is that we suffer. And the first one I want to say is that we suffer sometimes because we fail to set boundaries. I know a lot of you have had this suffering because I've had a lot of clients who had this problem and it was causing them a lot of grief, suffering. You fail to set boundaries, so you allow anyone and everyone to walk all over you like a doormat, pretty much. You do everything, you put yourself out there, you go above and beyond, and I'm not saying that you should not help others, but when you keep doing it to the detriment of your health or your sanity or your needs, then it is going to cause resentment in you, cause some kind of negative feeling in you. It's going to cause stress because sometimes you're over, you just don't have enough time, and yet you're now making time, taking time out of things that you need to do to go and do something for somebody else just because you cannot say no and you have not created a boundary to say no. You can come this far but no further. And so a lot of people will break your boundaries every single time if you do not have the power to set your boundaries and say, no, I will not tolerate that behavior. No, don't do that. I don't like it. No, that is one of the reasons why we suffer. We suffer in relationships, and this can happen in any relationship. It can happen with your boss at work who wants you to work every weekend, and you can't spend time with your family because you have to work at some odd hours at weekends. When you make plans, you have to break your plans because this boss wants you to work, because you have not set a boundary. All right, same thing with relationships. Maybe your partner speaks to you in a certain way, and you accept it because you just don't want to cause a ruckus. But you've not set a boundary, and then you go and suffer because of the way you feel, right? So that is one of the reasons, right? We fail to set boundaries. The next thing is that we continue to live in the past. I know someone that every time I speak to this person, they go back in the past. It's always about the past. Oh, this would happen, and this would that, and this would this, and all the negative things from the past, and blah 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 blah. And I'm going, oh my God, when are you going to start living in the present? When you live in the past, we all know that we can do nothing about the past. We can't change the past. We cannot do anything about the past. All we can do with the past is to learn from it. Learn from your past so you can make better decisions for your future. And you can only make changes right now in the present. You cannot do anything about your past. That's another reason why we suffer. All right? Another reason is that we are seeking validation, love, and everything else outside of ourselves. We don't validate ourselves when we do something good. We don't validate ourselves when we have accomplished anything, but we're looking for it from others. The things that we're looking for outside of ourselves, we need to be able to give it to ourselves. So we don't go always looking and feeling, because people will always disappoint you guys. You cannot depend on people to validate you. I'm not saying that you should not be able to. You should be able to. There are people in your life that you should be able to, be able to have that person to validate you, right? And to love you and to take care of you, whatever it might be. But you shouldn't be so caught up in the other, in other people's validation or opinion of you that you depend on it. If you don't get it, then you then you fall apart. And when you get it, you're like on a high. So you're just up and down, up and down. You're at their mercy. You're really at the mercy of somebody else when you allow others' validations and opinions to control your life or dictate how you feel. That's another reason why we suffer. Okay? The other thing is that we don't learn from our mistakes. We just keep making them over and over and over again. We're doing the same thing, expecting different results. And you know what that definition is? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So we do that. We cause suffering to ourselves when we don't learn from our mistakes or past mistakes, and we just keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Another reason why we suffer is we focus on our failures, only our failures. I kind of touched on that earlier. And we fail to celebrate our wins. We will go out of our way to go and celebrate somebody's birthday, or celebrate when they graduate, or celebrate when they launch a business and everything, or when they lost weight. But we never, all we can do most of the time, most people, all they do is they just say all the wrong thing in themselves or what they did and blame themselves and all that. But they never ever celebrate their wins, what they've done what they've done right, what they've accomplished. They never celebrate those things. So we suffer because we focus so much on our failures and never celebrate our wins. All right, the next thing is, guys, next reason why we suffer is that we try to change others. We cannot change anyone else but ourselves. I know that if you have a pet, a dog, and you try to tell the dog what to do and how to behave and all that, how difficult it is. And this is a little dog, right? Now you're trying to do that with someone whose basic instinct is to push back when you tell him what to do. That's the basic instinct of humanity. You tell them what to do and they push back, especially when it comes across as if you're trying to, dictate to them how they should live their lives. You cannot change anybody else but yourself. That's how we also suffer, because we're trying to change others who refuse to change, and the more we're trying, the more they push back. All right? This causes us more suffering. How else do we cause our own suffering? Basically, we don't forgive ourselves. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody got it right the first time around. Very unlikely. A lot of us as parents, we've made mistakes in raising our children. Maybe we've made mistakes in picking a partner. That was not good for us. Maybe we've made mistakes in several ways. Maybe we didn't go back to school when we should. Maybe we didn't do, that. We didn't do this. And so we just keep this blame thing in our forefront of our minds all the time, because we're blaming ourselves for things that we didn't do or things that we did that we were not supposed to have done. But guys, as I mentioned again, it's in the past. It's the best thing you can do for yourself is that when you make mistakes, you learn to forgive yourself and learn from your mistakes and move forward. Learn to forgive yourself, just like how you'd want somebody else to forgive you when you make a mistake. And also when somebody else make a mistake, they ask for forgiveness. Same thing, you have to forgive yourself. Okay, so you can move forward. The next thing is that how we suffer is that we focus on the negative. And this is a part of something I said earlier as well. We focus on the negative things. A lot of positive things could happen, right? And we don't see those things, or we just take it for granted. But as soon as one thing happens that's negative, sometimes we go looking for it. We focus on that, and that becomes, and remember guys, whatever we focus on gets bigger. The more we focus on something, the bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger it gets. So when you focus on the negative, it just gets bigger, and that just increases our suffering. The next thing we do is we overthink. We overthink. Sometimes something is just that simple. But no, we have to make it big, and we think about this and we put on this. And by the time we finish thinking, we reach like years into the future with our thinking about what is going to happen if this happens, right? We reach years in the future. And usually when we do that, guys, we're thinking in a negative way. We just, as humans, we just have this thing about thinking about negative stuff. I don't know what it is, but we just think about all the bad things that can happen. And so we overthink it. And before we even start and put our toes up in the water, we stop and say, no, it's not going to work, because this is what is going to happen. I'm afraid, usually they say that this is going to happen. So we're overthinking all these things. We have no evidence of what is going to happen, but we have built this whole scenario, this whole story into the future, and overthink it, and just paralyzes ourselves, and we never accomplish all the things that we want to accomplish, and so we suffer. All right? The next thing we do is that we will remain in toxic relationships, whether it be intimate, romantic relationships, or relationships with friends, or relationships or with family member. We remain into these toxic relationships. A lot of it with the family is that, oh, it's my family. I can't not be with my family. Hell yeah, you can. You think you can. I'm here to tell you that you can, because guess what? If every single day you wake up and your family members are making you miserable and getting you in trouble, say you're in a family and all they do is drugs or alcohol or whatever it is, and you feel you have to remain in that situation because you're family, you're going to get stuck in that too. When the police come to arrest them, they're going to arrest you too, because you're there, right? Nope. I will very easily walk away from that. I will very easily walk away from that. Anything and anyone that's going to be toxic in my life, I can walk away from like that. It does not. I mean, it used to be more difficult. I've gotten to that place right now, and it's not a problem for me. I've learned, I've gone through quite a few of that. And so I've learned that, it's better for me to be happy and in a situation than to sit in toxicity. A lot of people feel they can't move forward. They can't move forward into anything because they feel that either they don't deserve it, so they feel they don't deserve it, they will never get better, they will always be alone. All of those things come to mind. So they remain in a toxic relationship, in an abusive relationship, in a dead-end job, in the same shoddy neighborhood, wherever, the same place, because they fear losing that. It's like, I know I have this shoddy job or this toxic relationship, so I better just hold on to it because I don't know if anybody else will want me, or I can get to be in another relationship and I'm afraid of being alone. So you hold on to that suffering of being in that relationship rather than to go out. Remember, guys, you cannot receive anything when your hands is clenched around something and you won't let it go. You have to let it go so that your hands are free to receive something better. And hopefully, after you've learned that this is not what you want, then you will choose a better relationship, a better job, a better neighborhood, whatever it is that you want to choose. You have to choose, right, to make you happy, right? The other thing is that why we suffer is that we have gotten so used to the pain, and to the suffering that it feels normal. Now that's a very sad place to be. But people have been in chronic abusive relationships. Now sometimes it's not even physical, but emotional abuse. That's chronic. That is every day, all night, as long as you're awake. They have gotten so used to it that they think that that is normal. And they're suffering every day. They're stressed every day. They know they don't feel good about themselves. They know their chest is tightening every time this person is around. They know their heart is palpitating every time this person is in the vicinity. They know they feel like dirt every time they feel dirty or like dirt every time this person is around. And yet they stay in that because they feel that it's normal. It feels normal, and trying to get out of that, and they don't know what the uncertainty of what they will get into next makes them stay and remain into that toxic relationship and just suffer. And some people live and they die in relationships and in situations where they are suffering when they didn't even realize that they had the power to get out of that. But they were so afraid of the unknown that they stayed in it until they died. Because this thing can kill you. Toxic relationships can kill you because it causes stress. Stress, causes cortisol a lot over the normal amount is in your system. And after a while, you have all kinds of diseases, guys. Take care of yourself, all right? Because nobody else is going to do that for you. Very rarely will you find somebody looking out for you the way that you should look out for yourself. Okay, so these are some of the ways, just a few. I'm sure there are other ways that you can come up with. You can put it in the comment section for me. But there are so many ways that we cause ourselves to suffer. That is not necessary. We have to really pay attention to these guys. Set your boundaries. Live in the present. And in the present, you create your future. Stop looking to others to validate you outside of yourself. Stop looking for love outside of yourself and learn to love yourself. Stop, just keep making the same mistakes over and over again, and learn from those mistakes and move forward in a better way. I hope, guys, that you have learned something from this video, or at least cause you to think in a different way. Please, if you found something valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also, please remember to hit that join button in the bottom there, right under this video. It says join. It will show you the 5 different levels that you can join my channel. The lowest one is just for support, and kind of stand out in the comment section. When you're making comments, I can see that you have this little badge. That's $3.99 a month, and you can stop anytime you want. The highest one is a VIP level, which will allow you to work with me on a one-on-one basis once a month. But in the meantime, during that month, you're getting videos, and we're having live chats, so we can discuss certain things and teach you different skills, and give you different tools to work on yourself. But it will be more very general. Now in the one-on-one session, we can now go one-on-one to be focused on your specific needs, your specific challenges, and also you might have something that's very private you want to discuss, person to person, versus in an open forum like a chat. All right, guys. So until next time, I hope this was something that opened your thought process at least. So in the meantime, guys, take care of yourself and have a great day. Bye bye.